Howdy, everyone. It's Gail Nicholson, metaphysicist and resilience coach, back again with another episode of the Corona Spotlight 2020. Today, we're starting our second week in existence. This is pretty it's pretty amazing and pretty astonishing. Wondering how long this quarantine is going to go on for. But as long as it does, we will be here and we will be showing you, excuse me, we'll be showing you people who are doing things to help us get through this. I started out talking with people that had contributed to me and, as a gift back to them to give them a leg up. This is expanding like you wouldn't believe, but this lady here that's with us today is one of those women who has just incredibly contributed to me and my growth. And I really want to point in her direction that she is phenomenal. And I'm so excited for what she's got developing that's helping people in their homes still stay healthy. So let me introduce to you Miss Joanne Angel BarryColon. Hey, Joanne, how you doing?
Hello, Gail. How are you? I'm doing well.
Wonderful. I'm good. I'm hanging in there. It's getting warm here in Phoenix. We're looking at the 80s this week. So how's the weather up there in New York at the end of March?
Well, I cannot complain considering it's the end of March and our winter was awesome. We had, I think, one sprinkle of snow throughout the entire winter, so I'm really happy. I know there are many people who are not, but I am thrilled, and it's actually pretty nice out today. So yeah, it's awesome weather. Can't complain.
Wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that. Excellent. All right. So one of the things that we've been playing and collaborating a little bit for the last couple of months, and when this quarantine happened, everybody kind of went a little bizarre in their head, wouldn't you say?
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that were scrambling for, oh my gosh, how am I going to my business is a in-person, you know, and in your case, possibly, touch oriented, sweat oriented, you know, people are going, can't go to a group facility like this. So I imagine that kind of had you spinning for a minute, but from over here, I got to be honest, it didn't have you spinning that long. You've got an amazing mind for adaptability. So tell me what that process was for you.
Well, interesting enough, I think I was already in the mindset prior to this whole, uh, as one will call it, the crisis. I want to call it an evolution, but I think I was already in the process, psychically speaking, getting myself prepared for some online services and also just being able to work with my clients because as most gyms, we're going to call gyms. Now, the nice thing about my facility is my facility is not a gym. My facility it's an environment that helps you to feel like you're still in a gym, but it's a one-on-one environment. So when I work with my clients all the time, doing this 18 years and counting, I work with clients on a one-on-one level, and the maximum amount of people I will work with at a given time, anytime, is three at a time. So the one thing that I had to do just for the just to honor my clients, so to speak, is to limit the sessions where I have one person in at a time. So it would just honor them so that they would feel safer and more calmer about the whole process of this situation that's going on. But as for me, it's something I've always done in reference to either three people at a time or one-on-one, and extending my services remotely, which is something that I would say about maybe 6 months ago, I was guided to do anyway in reference to reaching a much larger population to get my services and all the things that I do out there to reach people who obviously were not in my area.
Gotcha. So that's already had some traction to it then, reaching out remotely, doing private client work over the internet as well as in your studio slash gym there. That's phenomenal. So I've been seeing these things for dance parties. What
Yes.
is going on there?
You mean my dance medicine class?
Yes, that's the
Yes,
one.
yes. Well, what was it? I would say about a week ago, maybe a week ago. Yeah, maybe even a week and a half ago. I because we are all, we're all stuck inside, and I was like, okay, so what am I going to do for fun, just to entertain myself? So I decided to put on my music, and I started just, dancing. And upon doing that, I says, you know what? Why not put the music on and go Facebook Live with it? And see what happens. So I went Facebook Live with it. And the next time I decided to do it, because I'm one of those types of people that are very consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So when I start doing something, I do it on a consistent basis, especially if I do have people following. And when I say I'm going to come on a specific time, I really honor that.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, I feel that people are depending on me to be there. Whether they're actually participating in the dance moves or not, it doesn't matter. That's not the big deal about it. The big deal is that perhaps they're watching, and just by watching, it may be easing them down a little bit in reference to calming them down. And who knows, they might be the type of person that watches first and then tries it later.
Yeah.
So I just decided that I was going to go Facebook Live and just do my own little thing with it. And then I gave it a name, and I called it dance medicine because I am an advocate of natural healing,
Mm-hmm.
and I do not recommend any type of medication at all. And when I work with my clients, generally speaking, any of them who come to me who are on medication, over time, a part of the regimen that I put them on and I encourage them to do is I wean them off the medication that they are taking, with, of course, supervision from their physicians.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I work hand in hand with their physician, and I classify it as exercise to be medicine, dance to be medicine, yoga to be medicine, um, whatever
Nutrition.
it is. Yeah. And anything is medicine, anything that's natural to the body. And one of the things as a chakra balance therapist, um, moving our body actually activates the chakras, and it also activates the immune system. So when we're actually moving
Mm-hmm.
in a repetitious way, it actually activates the immune system to heal itself. Because it's
Interesting.
actually what's happening with the body is when we actually move repetitiously, we're creating respiration, and that's working the heart, and that's causing oxygen to flow into the body. And oxygen energy, oxygen flow actually enhances the immune system to make it healthier.
Awesome.
So I just decided, well, we're going to call this dance medicine. We're going to incorporate the chakras and move the body and have fun with it. And it's not a long process. So it's not like I have them dancing for, let's say, 30, 40, or 50 minutes. We're doing give and take 15 to 20 minutes of movement just to get the body going, working up the sweat.
Mm-hmm.
And the most important part of the class is it's easy. My whole goal is to make it easy so anybody can participate. So if it's a child who wants to participate, they can. And if it's someone who has arthritis or any type of physical limitation, they can, because it's easy.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. I noticed that you now have a price plan for that, and so should people, I guess, reach out to you in private messenger on Facebook if they want to sign up for that and get the details to be able to participate in that?
Yes, I would definitely recommend them to probably to email me would be the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
And my email address is healingwithin76@gmail.com.
Okay.
That would be the best thing for them to do. Only because I can give my number too, but I think the number itself, if people are long distance, whatever have you, might be a challenge for them. So email is always the best.
Gotcha. Yep, absolutely. And
Yes.
we'll put that email address in the comments when we're done with this as well, so that people have that at their fingertips to sign up for that class. Now, one of the
Perfect.
things that we tend to run into well, first of all, let me not jump ahead too much. I think that is an absolutely phenomenal service that you have decided to offer, because of the fact that we tend to when we are not getting up and moving, when we're sitting in front of the computer all day, when we're sitting in front of Netflix all day, you know, you can only walk the dog so many times. But,
That is true.
you know, those
Unless
snacks,
you have multiple dogs.
right? One at a time. All right, let's go.
Yes, they go out one at a time.
Right? But those snacks tend to stick around. Tend to, you know, hang out with us, you know. So at least if we can get up and get moving, preferably in movement based in joy, you know,
Yes.
happiness, having a good time, you know, that'll
Hmm.
help us, you know, release some weight, or at least avoid packing a few pounds on during this quarantine. Now,
Yes, and
for
I love the fact that you used the word release weight. Thank you for that.
You're very welcome. I am of the same mindset with you. Usually, when I lose something, I want to find it, not
Yes,
wait. I don't want to find the
exactly.
weight that I've lost. And people tend to, you know, when they lose weight, it comes back.
Yes, it
Um,
does.
so forgive me if I'm stepping on your explanation of it, but I totally
That's
get it.
okay.
I
No, hey.
totally get it. Um, so here's the thing. That's one thing that they can do is that dance party, but you have a
Yes,
much more in-depth regimen for those who may have already started the quarantine maybe a little fluffy and would like this time
yes.
to release some of that they brought into the quarantine, as well as keep off of them what the quarantine wants to pack on. So tell us a little bit about that. What is that program?
About Well, um, since speaking to you, I've sort of revamped the program again and again and again and again to really accommodate so many people's schedule. Because one of the things about me is I really like to accommodate people's schedule. So the best thing I can explain in regards to the program, I'm going to break it up in a couple of different segments, so to speak. And like the first segment is if someone's interested in doing one-on-one personal training, obviously they can't go to a gym, but they can obviously do the workouts at home.
Hmm.
And I'm a big advocate of making sure the person's doing what they're doing correctly. Yeah, you can pop in a videotape and watch a VCR of, you know, Jane Fonda's workout. Let's go that far back, you know, and do that exercise. Or you can have a certified personal trainer watching over you on Zoom, such as what we are, and guiding you in reference to the exercises, which is what I do with many of my clients now, where I actually work with them anywhere between 2 or 3 times a week. We have a specific time frame that we meet, and I work with them in that fashion. Now, the same concept would be, let's say someone does want to do the personal training, but they don't want to do it personally. They want to do more in a group style. I do offer a group fitness class, and that's structured at a specific time twice a week. And I don't have the exact time frame right now because I'm still tweaking the schedule because to accommodate everyone who wants to do it.
Hmm.
And then, of course, we have the dance medicine class. And then I'm also putting together what we call a yoga chakra balance class as well, which will meet once a week on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And I incorporated this plan. So this way here, if somebody wants to take on all of it, there's a specific monthly rate that they can do all the classes. If they wanted to purchase, let's say, 2 classes a week, there's a specific package rate for that. If they want to do it once a week, there's a specific package rate for that as well. But it's incorporating where we get to do the stretches, we get to do strength training, and then we get to do cardiovascular. So it's a
I,
combination of everything in the course of the entire week. So they're not overloading their body on one thing and underloading their body on something else. Because one of the things I've noticed as a trainer is many people often will go with one or the other. They'll either do too much, let's say, cardiovascular exercise, but not enough strength training. Or they do so much strength training and no cardiovascular. And let's just totally forget stretches altogether, you know, where they don't stretch. Whether whether we want to call it yoga or we want to call it stretch, they just don't do that. And then the bigger concern that we have is why are people getting injured? Because they're not stretching.
Right.
So I decided that I wanted to put together this plan that's going to incorporate the three, but at the same token, not forcing them to take the three. where if they just really prefer to do, let's say, the strength training and the cardio, that's fine. But of course, at the end of both, I do give a little bit of stretching as well. So they're not going without the stretching. It's just not as enhanced as, let's say, if they took the yoga and stretch program.
Excellent. I love the fact that you're offering the different package sizes and the different um, proclivities, so to speak, that they can pick and choose what it is that they want to focus on, or they can go with the whole thing. And
Yeah.
that you're going to have an eye on, even if they've got the piecemeal stuff, that they're taking care of themselves in balance.
Yes.
That's
And
wonderful.
and in addition to, for those who may need it, should they need any type of nutritional guidance, I offer that as well. And that's
Excellent.
something that I offer into the plan as a complimentary service. It's not something they have to pay additional for. So once they take on any of the services that they take on in the what I call the discovery session, I explain to them that they do have access to a nutritional consultation with me, and that we can discuss those that specific topic if they need to.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yes.
Now, do you do what kind of thought process do you follow as far as the nutritional stuff? Now, and I'm not really going anywhere in specific with this, but the first thing that came to mind for me is like the blood type diets. Now, for me, I find that that actually works really well. The diet for my type of blood type actually flows in with what I like and what I don't like, and it was kind of funny that when I listened to my body, it was basically telling me follow this diet anyway. So
Exactly.
do you have things like that, or that you go, okay, this type of person, this is what I'm going to recommend for you, or how do you go about telling an individual what type of nutrition their body is asking for?
That's a really good question. I'm glad you asked that. To start off with, I do not provide diets.
Hmm.
And how I go about working with someone on their nutritional plan, to start off with, I have them keep a food diary for 7 days, because we are creatures of habits. What we eat on Monday, chances are we're going to eat that Monday through Friday. People vary up what they eat. They usually eat the same way all the time. So I have them just keep a journal for 7 days. And then after 7 days, I sit down with them and I go over their journal with them in regards to how I can make suggestions and replacements. So, for example, if they're eating something that may be too much of something, like let's say if I see that they're consuming a lot of bread, I might suggest to them, maybe at this point we replace the bread with something else.
Hmm.
So this way here, I'm not gonna say to them, you can't have the bread. We're just gonna replace it with something else because you're consuming too much bread.
Hmm.
And get them to the point where at least the first week that I go over their food diary with them, I'm having them make replacements versus telling them they can't have something.
Yeah.
And then I have them keep a diary after that, as they've made the changes, or hopefully make the changes. We review it again and see if they've implemented the changes, and see how those changes have implemented and what kind of results came about the changes.
Hmm.
So as long as if they're cutting out bread, let's say if they're consuming bread 3-4 times a day, and they cut that down to having it once a day, they're going to see a difference just in not as so much about releasing weight, but they are going to see a difference in reference to how their body's not so bloated from consuming too much bread.
Gotcha.
And that itself, not feeling bloated, they're going to also feel a little more energized because they're not bloated. And that's how I actually streamline their nutritional plan, is just by helping them make changes, exchanging something for something else, until the point where I get them where they're eating a more balanced diet that consists of more vegetables, more fruits, less meat. Because I'm a firm believer that uh, a meatless diet is actually a healthier diet on the body. And we
Okay.
can consume protein from so many other forms versus meat. And most people would call it, let's say, a vegetarian diet. Nowadays, I think the new fad word is plant-based diet. you know,
It worries me a little bit.
yeah, I just based on a meatless diet.
Hmm.
And again, I mean, somebody who likes to consume a lot of meat in their diet, if I were to suggest to them, well, I want you not to have any more meat, that would turn them off. That would be
Hmm.
like, this doesn't work for me. Can't do this. So what I would suggest is, okay, well, if you're eating meat 7 days a week, my suggestion is to cut down. So rather than having meat 7 days, how about we try 5 days and do it for 5 days this week? Let's see how you feel with it. And then eventually I might get them to cut it down to 3 days. And
Hmm.
before, over time, I'm not saying that they're going to go to the point where they're never going to eat meat again, but they're going to start eating less and less of it. So it's not so much about a diet plan as opposed to just getting them just to become more aware of what they're eating and how much of what one food they're consuming. And when they can get more variety into their diet, it's more balanced. Is usually what I do with a client.
Gotcha. I like how you said, aware of what they're eating. Because as you were talking, I remember growing up, you had to eat your meat. You had to
Yes,
eat your meat, right? And whether it was directly said so or not, the impression given was that meat is the only way that we can get protein,
yes,
right? You got to eat your meat so you have strong muscles and blah blah blah. Nobody said that, pound for pound there's more protein in broccoli than there is in
yes, yes.
beef,
Well,
or
let's
things
take for
like that
example.
where else you can get protein. Go ahead.
Exactly. Let's take for example a gorilla.
Mhm.
Okay, wild animal gorilla. Gorillas are huge.
Yeah.
They're huge, and they do not put an ounce of meat in their body.
Mm.
Everything is based on plants.
That's
So if
really
gorillas
interesting.
can be that big and also lean because they don't have any fat on their body, they're very big, but they're lean. And they don't eat an ounce of meat. So now, if gorillas can live without meat and still be strong and healthy, why can't humans live without meat?
Good point. Very good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. All right.
Yes.
So, let's see here. Now, I know that you have developed a program that trains trainers as well.
Yes.
You want to tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. Sure. Well, let me start by saying how that program was developed before it went into even looking at trainers for that matter. Because the program's called Body and Soul Transformation,
Hmm.
and I designed it for my clients. And how I designed it was based on the whole purpose of incorporating um, personal training and also the holistic approach of, let's say, doing Reiki or crystal healing, meditation, and combining it together for my clientele. And when doing it for my clientele, now I don't do this plan with all my clients because not all of them want to take it on, but I
Hmm.
do it a handful of them. And what I've noticed with the ones that I do the program with, I know that when I've noticed that the results that they get, it's actually helping them to maintain and continue to see more results where they're not reaching plateaus. With my clients who aren't on the program, they go like a yo-yo, where they'll see results and then they go back into their old habits.
Okay.
And then I have to tweak their program to get them to see more results. Whereas with the clients I'm working my body and soul transformation program with, it's not about treating the program so they continue to see results, because the whole process of the body and soul transformation program is about how I help the client to get into the deep rooted issues, their patterns, their habits, and their beliefs about exercising, about eating, and anything that they've learned from childhood up regarding exercise and what they're supposed to do, how much water, etc. Um, let me get my thoughts back. Let me get my thoughts back. Now, in reference to the program, it's in reference to helping them just to eliminate plateauing. And then after sitting with my clients with this program, I was speaking with someone and she had asked me, she goes, have you ever considered taking this program and developing a course for trainers? And I was like, oh, you know what? I've never really thought about it, but indirectly I have. Many years back, I put together something that I was actually going to be teaching in a college, which was a very similar program. And I sat down with the program, figured it all out in reference to how this program can help other trainers train almost the way I train. And my approach as a personal trainer is not about helping the client to only physically see results in reference to like, okay, we want to lose 4 inches off the waist so we can fit into our wedding dress. And yeah, every woman wants to fit in their wedding dress. Let's not take that for granted. But the approach is all about how can we get to that place of releasing the old habits, the old patterns, and the belief system. And by doing that, it's more than just about the weight training. It's more than just about the cardiovascular. It's more than just about the stretching. It's really about how one can go into the state of mind, their mindset of transitioning old habits, old patterns, old beliefs. And that's where the Reiki, the crystal healing, the sound healing work comes in to helping the client to realign their energies. So when they are exercising, they have a different approach.
Right.
Excuse me. They have a different approach about it. So being able to teach other trainers how to train in this format also will help them transform as well. Because in order for them to teach the plan, they have to go through the process of becoming a Reiki practitioner or possibly even a Reiki master. Going through the whole transition of clearing things from themselves as well. So it's a big, big process for a trainer to decide to take on this program, this course, and teach it, transform themselves. And then they start to teach it to their clients as well.
But what would that make possible? I mean, if you have a trainer that is skilled in an ability to have you create results without plateauing, I mean, what could that do for your business as a trainer if you were that
Oh
trainer?
yeah,
You know?
exactly,
Absolutely.
exactly. I mean, it would be amazing because again, it also helps the clients to constantly transition.
Hmm.
Because again, even the clients who I do work with in that program, they're constantly still seeing me in regards to releasing whatever triggers that show up for them.
Hmm.
So it's an ongoing process, and my goal is taking my clients that's doing the program and encouraging them to become a Reiki practitioner or a trainer so they too can start to teach the program.
Gotcha.
So that's like my big goal about it. It's not just taking personal trainers who are trainers already. It's taking current clients and saying, you know what, Juan, let's take you to encourage you to become a Reiki 1, and then develop that self healing, and then go into Reiki 2, where now you can start working on other people to heal.
Hmm.
And if you really, really enjoy doing this, perhaps you might even want to pursue becoming a personal trainer. So then you can help others transform their mind, body, and spirit.
Right, right.
So it's a work in progress. I'm still very much the program itself is already designed. It's just a matter of like really being able to sit down with other trainers and getting them on board with the style that I have. And I'm going to be really honest about it. When this woman first approached me about it, I was sort of like, well, why would I want to teach something that's authentic to me? That's so personalized for me as a trainer, which makes me an authentic trainer.
Hmm.
I mean, there's not too many trainers out there that work with their clients regarding personal training, Reiki, and getting them to transform from inside out.
Right.
So to me, I was a little like, I wasn't 100% ready to jump in and say, yeah, I want to teach this course to other trainers. And I'm like, no, that's what makes me authentic. But I do sit in meditation.
Hmm.
And my mom guides me all the time in my meditation. And my mom literally said to me, she literally hit me in the head, literally in the head. She's like, this is your legacy. This is what you're supposed to leave here on earth. this particular course, this service that you offer, the specialty that you do for other clients, you would be what she say to me? You would be committing a crime if you did not offer this course to other trainers. So I was like, okay. And so I was like, okay, then I guess that's what I'll be doing.
Very,
so
very
it's just
interesting.
a matter of, yeah, it's just a matter of the process of sitting with other trainers, getting them to really understand what it is I do and how it's beneficial for them as well, you know, for their own personal physical, mental, and spiritual growth, and then their own personal financial growth. Because as they take on this program, they'll align clients to them, and their revenue will increase as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much for joining me today. I wanted to ask you, do you have anything that you would like to gift to your listeners? Anything along those lines? Should they reach out to you to get onto a list or something? What do you
Sure,
got?
definitely. I would love to offer that's a good one. Can I offer two things or just one?
You offer two things. I like it. It's a Monday bonus.
There you go. Monday motivation. Yeah. So they could take advantage of a 30-minute cosmic energy soul reading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they can also take advantage of a 30-minute chakra balance Reiki session.
Awesome.
Okay.
Can they do them together, or do they need to be at two different times?
They can do it together. Definitely. That's workable.
Okay. And then can they reach out to you to schedule that?
They can reach out to me through the same email we said before, the healingwithin76@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
And if they want to see more services that I do offer, they can go to my website, which is a really easy website. It's www.holisticwithawfitnessny.com.
Excellent. And we'll make sure that these go in the comments as well underneath these as soon as it's posted. Awesome. Alrighty. And then final thoughts, my love. Do you have any final thoughts for those of us that are still just trying to get through this quarantine?
Any final thoughts? Well, my final thoughts would be, which I've been preaching a lot about, rather than focusing this quarantine as the crisis, if we can redirect our thoughts and focus on it being a phenomena, and that we will see a light, and at the end of that light, every one of us are going to transform into a better version of who we are. And there's a bigger lesson behind this lesson. And if we can just allow ourselves to really give ourselves the permission to be still, to be quiet, and to meditate, we will receive the guidance that we need to receive, so we can, every one of us can raise our vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And by raising our vibration, it helps us to become a better version of who we are.
Phenomenal.
So it's an evolution, not a crisis.
Beautiful. I like it. I adopt that. I accept that. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
You're very welcome. It's been my pleasure. All right, everyone. Have a fantastic, wonderful week out there in Facebook land. And we'll see you again tomorrow. When you open your energy work, makes that recovery progress so much faster. That recovery is possible. You do not have to live as a victim until your last days. You have unbelievable strength, and I know that because you're still here. Do you want to create something completely unrecognizable with your life? I can show you how.